Please, thank you so much for the messages and the support, but everything...
because it's easy money.
Hi, I'm upset about something and I kind of just want to get straight into it. You want to give like a bit of a trigger warning because I know some people are really triggered by this. I'm triggered by this, and this video will be talking about transphobia and all the stuff that happened with FINDSAI or Say, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, and I'm kind of at a loss for words. When I first found out about it, I was like, okay, this is something that happens way too often. We need to make sure she's safe. We need to make sure that everything is okay. Okay, I don't even know. Where do I even start? Okay, let's just break down what's happening just in the community in general, and then let's break down what's happening in this specific situation. And we've been hearing a lot in the media about trans women and men being kidnapped, and I don't know if I can even say those words, but just being kidnapped or SA'd or just harmed, killed, everything. Like, just anything negative under the sun has been happening to the trans community, and that's been going on forever, but it's been really showing up in the media recently, and that's why you'll see so many like GoFundMes to help them, because there's just so much that's happening to that community that is just crazy, and they do need a lot of help and support and everything. But with this specific situation, I saw this trending on Twitter, and when I first saw it, I was like, this is actually crazy. I'm gonna be putting up a lot of footage in this video of what's been happening and everything, and there is a very triggering video, so if you get triggered by people in shock or anything like that, this is like a little disclaimer before I play it. But it is a video of FINDSAI and what seems to be, or what she described as, a basement, and she was pretty much just saying that there's this Latino male that's attacked her, that's around like 40 to 50 years old. She gives this whole description of the person who has either attacked her, kidnapped her, captured her, whatever, and she gives that whole description in that video, and I'll play it.
40 to 50 years old Latino male, about 5'10". Please, I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm in the basement. You could be back any second. Please help.
Okay, so that video went around, and that video was trending on Twitter. Like, it was #1 trending on Twitter. And there's a lot of people, and I feel like the reason why this specific one was trending is because she either had a friend or someone who saw the story, and that person has a good amount of following, a lot of following on Twitter and just on social media in general, so it did trend very fast and it got to a lot of people very fast, which in this situation should be a very good thing. But it's not, because of the way this ended, but I'll get into that later. Yeah, so that's when people realized that her Instagram, all the pictures were taken down, and her profile picture was taken down, everything was taken out, the bio, everything, and it just looked like her account was just gone. Thinking, okay, well, whoever's with her knows that she has a good amount of following, knows that people are trying to reach out to her, and by taking down all those photos, it's going to be hard to find her because we don't know who we're looking for. But fortunately, there are a lot of people who already were following her and had those pictures posted because she was a pretty popular person from what I'm seeing. And there also was another, I think it was a Pinterest account or something, that she had a lot of photos on, so that was a good thing that we were able to find that and then put those on Twitter as well, and pretty much every social media platform to try and find this person. There's a lot of back and forth, like the people who are trying to find her were asking her personal friends, like, why aren't we getting any more information? And this is where everyone started coming up with their conspiracy theories on what's going on, and this is where I started to kind of fall back on the situation a little bit, because it just seemed very, very, very odd. At least 2 hours or 3 hours later, after all this was trending, there was a statement put out by her friend who FaceTimed her and said that she was perfectly fine, and she's gonna be flying home to, I think, LA in the morning. Somewhere, wherever she was gonna be flying to another place in the morning.
Hey, so everything got blown out of proportion. I'm fine. Please, thank you so much for the messages and the support, but everything's good.
And that's where I was like, what? Because we spent how much time trying to find this person, and then out of nowhere, we're saying that this person's perfectly fine, and all of her friends were on Twitter saying, don't contact her, she doesn't want to talk to anyone, she's really traumatized by this experience, and she just needs her space, which is understanding, but it's like, the police were involved. thousands and thousands of people were involved, and we're not getting any information or anything to wrap up the situation. How she got out, like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so like there's a bunch of tweets going around that I was liking and retweeting because it just made a lot of sense. The fact that the FaceTime photo that was used, and I'll put it up, that was as proof to prove that Sai was safe where she was. She was obviously in a closet, and the person who was pushing that picture out, her friend that FaceTimed her, that put that picture up to say that she was okay, said that no, she's not in a closet, she's laying down in bed. And it was like, the picture is obvious that like there's hangers, there's clothes on the hangers.
I'm gonna have to interrupt this just a little bit. I actually found the screenshot of the deleted tweet, so there you go.
You can see the frame of a closet, and they were like, everyone, I was even like, what? That makes no sense. I was like, that seems very sus. And that's where a lot of people started thinking, okay, what if her friends are the ones that kidnapped her? What if that's the situation that's going on? As you can see, like, this whole situations like this in general, that you're not getting a lot of information, not getting a lot of answers, people start coming up with conspiracy theories, and that's what becomes like very dangerous. But with the way that the world has been working right now, and all the horrible and disgusting situations that have been happening to trans women and men, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep faith in this and try to make sure that this person's okay, or try to figure out this person's okay. I'm not gonna go on social media and start spewing that this person is a liar, that they're faking it for money and yada yada yada. Like, I'm not gonna do that until it's either confirmed that it's fake or confirmed that it's real and she's home safe. Issue with this specific situation is the fact that there are so many trans women and men that are not taken seriously. Pretty much anyone in the LGBTQ plus community is not taken seriously, but when it comes to trans women and men, the amount of hate crimes, especially if you're black too, like the amount of hate crimes is actually insane. So when people were starting to call this fake, I was like, no, like I don't want to go out here and be like, another black person is like lying, or a black person who is a part of the LGBTQ plus community, trans woman or man, is lying. Like, I don't want that to be the case. Like, I know people are gonna jump to that conclusion either way, but like for me, I was like, no, I don't want to say that. Like, I don't want to come out here and be like, this person's a liar and this person's a scam artist, because the media already portrays trans women and men so horribly. And it's like, you pretty much, this situation, if it's fake, it's feeding into the homophobic, transphobic agenda that everyone is just horrible people, liars, scam artists, you know. Like, it's just setting people back so far, and it's gonna make it really hard. Like, if something like this comes out and it's true, everyone's gonna be like, okay, well, y'all already cried wolf, y'all already did this, it was fake last time, why would we believe you now? And it's just something that's very hurtful for, like, to the community, very hurtful to black people in general. Like, it's just a very dangerous thing to do, so I just don't understand the mentality behind it. But I was up late last night, I think at least 5:36 in the morning. I just wanted to see that she was home safe. That's all I wanted to see before I went to bed, because that's something that weighs very heavy on your heart. And I think anything that happens to the black community, it affects us all. It's traumatic as a community. So seeing that was very, like, triggering, and I was like, no, this person's not safe. Like, especially when it comes to hate crimes, like, this is obviously seen as a hate crime. Like, this person who is a trans woman and is obviously visibly black was taken from wherever she was. We weren't told how the situation happened, how they ended up in the situation. We weren't told how they got out of the situation. Obviously in that video that I played earlier, she mentioned that she was in a basement. She mentioned that there was a male who was holding her against her will, captive, whatever word you want to use, and it was visible that she was stuck somewhere. So everyone was trying to figure out, okay, so where how, when, why. I think someone did say that there was an officer sent out to her phone's location, but we never heard about that again. So that was confusing as well, because it was like, if police were sent out to you, but now there's a video of you saying, not a video, a picture, a screenshot of a FaceTime saying you're okay. Did you contact the police to say that everything's okay, or are they still searching for you? There was just so many things that were like, blah, 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 blah. Even with all that going around, I still had hope that this wasn't a lie, and that, you know, obviously, like, I would rather it be a lie and that person is safe, but it's like, God, it's crazy for you to lie about that either way. I don't know what the story is. It did come out earlier today that the whole situation was fake and it was for money.
Or like her being in Cincinnati was fake.
Okay. How is it fake?
I know this because one, the girl that she was with called me and told me that I went into her closet in Columbus and recorded that, posted it, knowing and with the intentions of her GoFundMe getting shared. She was then told the girl that she should do the same because, and I have screenshots too.
Okay.
She told the girl to then do the same because it's easy money. And the girl's telling her, no, you shouldn't. The only reason why Sai got on to say that she is okay is because that girl told her to. The girl's telling me that she feels used by Sai, and I'm gonna call her Sasha. She says that she feels used by Sasha because after that argument, she said that she was gonna pack her bags and head out.
What was the argument about making a post or not?
About
Twitter?
Yeah, because the only thing was that her friend is telling her to say like that, you know, like, why is she doing that? That's not okay in the first place, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that screenshot that I sent you, the thing that I told you, that she said that's just like going.
It's really heartbreaking that someone would fake that, because this is something that Black women, men, Black trans women and men go through all the time, because we are just hated in general. Like, they just hate us. So it's like, obviously people want to reach out and help you, and it's the fact that this thing became it was blown up out of, and it was just nothing. Like, it was just nothing. It was all fake, and I was like, wow, okay. And I'm really upset with Sai for faking all of that. They are saying that the roommate or whoever wasn't fully in on it, but kind of was at the same time, because apparently it was her roommate's closet that she was in the whole time. So it's like, either way, if you were a part of it, you're still at fault. Whether you came forward about it or not, you're still at fault for entertaining the foolishness to begin with. Sai, you're messed up. You need to reevaluate everything. If you needed money that badly, first of all, it's Black History Month. You're getting money either way. People are gonna send you money either way because reparations. But if you see the amount of GoFundMes for Black women, Black trans women and men, like, there's so many GoFundMes out there that people will donate to because they know that you're going through a lot of bleed. Like, they know they're going through a lot. The whole scenario, like, I'm going to plan out a scenario where I was kidnapped by a 55-year-old Latina male, and I'm trapped in a closet because I can't pay my rent this month. Where does that mentality come from? I don't get it. What is that noise? Was a dead, like, actually no, I can't even say that, but there was a deceased body that was being spread around, and people were saying that it was Sai, and that bad for my mental. So that whole situation, very traumatizing. If you do see this, get help, because there's no way you went out of your way to traumatize the Black community but ask them for help at the same time. That makes no sense to me. And I'm sorry I've been chewing gum this whole time, but I needed something to, like, you know? Like, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I think, just to wrap this up, I will just say that I will always support the Black community, no matter what. Just because of this situation, that doesn't mean that we can be homophobic now, we can be transphobic now, we can be racist now, because I saw a lot of people doing that, just because the situation didn't come, just because the situation wasn't true and everything that happened was a lie, people decide that that is an excuse to be racist and homophobic and transphobic. The whole lie started to break down in the first place from yesterday, once that picture was released. So for her to say now that she had absolutely no involvement in it, that's very, very, very sketchy. And there is a person who was on Twitter that said, whatever money that you guys got out of it, FINDSAI is probably not sharing it with you now, and now you guys are here trying to backtrack on the whole thing. That could be a reach, that really could, but I just think that the whole situation is sketchy. I feel like her friends probably were in on it, and either way, everyone's at fault. Any involvement that you had, you have to own up to your part that you played, especially lying and say that she's not in a closet when she literally was. That you have to own up to that at some point, even if you didn't, you know, like, even if that your part in the situation was that significant or that insignificant, you still have to own up to it, because this is a huge thing that happened where thousands and thousands and thousands of people were involved, tweeting, trying to find this person. So for you guys to turn around, this is where a lot of people got really mad, and I got mad about this too, but to turn around and just write us off and say, guys, just leave us alone, we need our privacy, we need our space. To just turn around and say that you guys need your space, you need your privacy, you want everyone to leave you alone, I can understand that, especially if you actually went through a traumatic experience. But because you didn't, people want their answers. People want to hear something, and I feel like at any point you have to give them that. Just like at least a tiny bit, like a summary, a sum up of the story, because you, like, just saying I'm sorry for affecting all these people, that does absolutely nothing. Sorry for traumatizing the Black community, that does absolutely nothing. You need to own up to what you've done, and honestly, whether they accept your apology or not, which I really hope they don't accept your apology, but either way, like, you have to own up to what you've done in order to move on from the situation, because no one's going to stop asking questions until you answer them. And I know that may come up harsh, but that's the harsh reality, especially because of how harsh the situation was, especially because it was fake. I have hatred, and I don't have hate in my heart for these people, I have hate for what they've done. And again, like, no matter how small their involvement was, everyone played a part in the situation, and I feel like every single person should own up to what they've done, put out what happened, what didn't happen, what was a lie, what was true. That is what needs to happen. And a lot of people are, I think you can report GoFundMes for being like fraudulent or whatever, and I feel like that's what a lot of people are doing. So again, it was for nothing, because obviously if someone finds out, especially if you do something so huge like this, people are gonna find out. Like, this is the internet nowadays, people dox people every day. There's no way that you thought you could get away with that and get away with the money and keep it. Even if you do get to keep it, it's dirty money. Like, it's, you have to traumatize people, traumatize your own people, and take their money. But another friend did mention that people who aren't trans women shouldn't be talking about the situation. They shouldn't be giving their 2 cents on the situation, and that's where I literally have to tell you that's completely incorrect. Whether it's my place to say it or not, and I know this is gonna come off very harsh, but I feel like you need to understand that this was all over social media, where you ask for help from every single person. So to sit there and say, we want your help, but now that you know that it's fake, shut up. Give us your money, but now that you know that I was actually like scamming you, shut up. That's very much what it's giving. I can always respect not speaking on specific issues, because obviously I cannot relate to them. I'm not a trans woman or man, so I cannot relate to them on that level. But to say that we shouldn't be speaking on the situation at all after you just begged for our money, that's incorrect. That's very incorrect. Ooh. Yeah, and to anyone who was traumatized by the situation, people who are actually trying to help, anyone who sent money, I am so sorry. I'm genuinely so sorry that you had to witness that. If you've seen the picture of Trayvon that was going around saying that it was actually Sai, I'm so sorry that you had to see that, because this whole thing was an actual disaster. Like, this, I've never seen, I've never seen Twitter threads be so messy and so like triggering. Like, I've never seen Twitter like that before. And I don't know, like, obviously there's messed up stuff on Twitter all the time, but like, I usually stem away from that. So to see that on my timeline, to see that as what's #1 trending on Twitter, like that, like the whole spreading around, like all of that is very, very, very traumatic, very traumatizing. And it was really hard to watch. And then to find out that like that whole thing was just fake. And like, I know that these situations happen often, but for me, I've never been active like that on Twitter trying to find someone. And I don't know, it really hurt that it just really hurt that it was fake. And I'm never gonna stop fighting for my own community ever, just because this one person decided to be a disgusting liar and manipulative and a scam artist. That doesn't mean I'm gonna stop supporting the community, because these are real things that happen pretty much every single day, and just because it's not trending doesn't mean it doesn't happen. I'll put up their user, you can see pretty much the whole timeline of everything that was happening. I have a few things I'll put my Twitter down below, everything. I'll try to put as much information as I can, because I have a feeling a lot of it's going to get deleted, which is going to be extremely frustrating because I have nothing to back up what I'm trying to say. But I'm going to try and make sure I screen record, screenshot everything that I can so I can show you, because it's very... Thanks for watching. I'll be back when I'm back, because I don't have a regular uploading schedule.